Hi, folks. Delighted to be here at the 2020 Entrepreneurial Experience with Cork BIC. So my name is Patrick Hickey, and I've been asked to share some lessons or insights from some of the entrepreneurial journeys that I've been on. So I guess as entrepreneurs, we all start out life with many different noises. I don't necessarily believe entrepreneurs are born, but I think if anybody's asking themselves, are they an entrepreneur? I don't think you are, and intuitively we all know that. But I guess one of the noises that I would like to concentrate on this morning is rumble. And I'll take you through what I mean about rumble in a second. And the reason I think it's important is because all of the elements and all the letters in it are things that certainly from my own journey to date have been important to, I guess, the successes and the different directions that I've been able to take some of the businesses that I've been lucky enough and privileged enough to be involved in. So in starting off, rumble, resourceful. So resourceful is one of those things that entrepreneurs would have as a hygiene factor. We are all, as entrepreneurs, very resourceful, but that's not the reason why I think it's important. The reason I think it's important is the team that you bring around you. So when going out to seek either partners, investors, or in many cases, team members, staff, some can be great salespeople, some can be great doers, but one of the characteristics that I believe is crucial to success for any entrepreneur is the resourcefulness of the team around. So you can be the best salesperson in the world, but if when adversity happens, and it will, and it does continually happen, you're not surrounded by people who are equally resourceful, then that's the time when things can come unstuck. And in many ways, entrepreneurs at the time of a contract being lost or, your biggest client pulling the business from you, things like that, you really do need others around you to step up and show you how resourceful they are on your journey. So I would encourage you to seek that out in any new team members that you're involved in. The second one is unapologetic. I think we had a good example of it recently in our Irish rugby captain leaving the pitch last weekend against France. He clearly wasn't happy, and he shook his head in disbelief that he wasn't very happy at being taken off. We were losing the game. Subsequent press conference, we saw that Jonathan had apologized to those, as in his words, who matter, but he was not for apologizing to anybody else. And it reminded me that I love it. As entrepreneurs, we apologize too much. We apologize for being stubborn. We apologize for being too passionate. And a lot of the times, particularly as your business grows, you'll end up being managed. Oh, we can't really say that in the room. The team will, Don't apologize for who you are, because it's because of who you are that the business exists in the first place. So be unapologetic in that moment. The next one is M. I guess I could put this two ways: make money or margin. In our case, most of the business that we were involved in made money from day one. So I would like to concentrate on margin, because as business people, our ultimate goal is to make money for the shareholders that we are involved with. And margin is a very important factor in that. And in my experience, a lot of the time when we start businesses, we start them in a way that we think the future is going to bring the success. But in actual fact, if from day one you don't structure yourselves from your pricing model and your route to market in a way that allows you to make margin that in 5 years' time you're going to be satisfied with, then you need to check that. Price should not be a tactic. It can be a strategy, but it shouldn't really be a tactic unless you're going into, obviously, that end of the market. But ultimately, the margin that you make from day one, you should be satisfied that you can grow a successful business on the back of that. If you can't, it's not that you haven't got a business. It's just you may need to look at the structure in which you're developing your business. The next one is B. Again, I could have had this as two things, but I've settled on bravery. So as entrepreneurs, a lot of people will tell us, oh, you're incredibly brave. Indeed, one of the very big campaigns that one of the businesses that I was involved in, Rothko, for AIB, was backing brave. And sure, as entrepreneurs, we are brave. But again, that's one of those things that's undeniable in an entrepreneur. We have to get out there and start our business. That's not the bravery that I'm referring to. The bravery that I'm referring to is when it comes to a crossroads in your journey, when somebody perhaps offers you a price for a service or a product that you're trying to bring to market, and you know that You need the money in that moment, but it's ultimately not what you wanted to do. You have a decision to make there. And the important part of making the decision from a courage or a bravery perspective is that decision will determine the next period of your journey. And if you take the easy way out, that's going to bring you down one path. If you take the more courageous and brave direction through it, not only will it bring you down a different path, but it shows those around you that you're intent on doing that. So in other words, you're relentless with the journey. So I would encourage you all to be brave along the journey in moments when you really are tested. That's the point of that. The next one is leadership. Again, as entrepreneurs, we don't necessarily concentrate on leadership. Leadership is something that most of us think about further down the journey, but it's an incredibly important feature in being an entrepreneur. Very few of us do anything on our own. Most of us have teams that we either start with or build as we go. And there's an expression that I love, which is boss watching. So leadership, in my view, happens from the back, the middle, and the front. And every single thing that you do is watched. Your nuance, your tone, how you speak to somebody in moments of vulnerability, how you sell, how you don't sell. All of those different moments are important. It's not only from an internal perspective, but also within the industry and the category that you're in. If you show true, genuine leadership, in other words, don't look left and don't look right, just look ahead or up. You don't look left or right because that's contagion. You're only going to be a slightly better version at best of left and right. But real leadership only looks forward or up. So I would encourage you all to make sure that regardless of what's going on around you, be the leader in the room. It's by your example that others can learn. And on that same point, the last is E, elevation. We all have stories to tell. We all have products or services. We're all looking to get new business. A lot of the time, it's only as we travel through the journey that we realize the importance of elevating our own stories, our own brand, our own product. Most of the American market that if you're lucky enough to do business over there, they are brilliant at elevating. They will elevate something that is actually tiny to make it look and sound as if it's huge. As Irish people, we have this inbuilt humility, which I love about us on one level. On another level, we do need to learn how to elevate the story because it's through that then that others can notice. So before we were selling our business, we elevated quite substantially in the previous 3 years internationally. In our case, it was through international awards. That brought the ultimate buyers to our table. If we hadn't have done that, I'm not sure we'd be in the position that we're in currently. So again, rumble, resourcefulness, unapologetic, margin, bravery, leadership, and elevation. I would encourage you to have that noise swirling as you go through the journey. For me, it's really helped. I think that concentrating on each of those things and seeking them out in other people on your team will genuinely help. So some insights from the past. We're not in the past, though we're in the present, and the present has brought a global pandemic. A very difficult time for all of us, families, friends, and obviously businesses. So some of you may have heard this before, but I think I want to bring you back to basics. In our family homes, in our communities, in our friend groups, and certainly in our businesses, and most definitely in our clients or our potential clients, we all listen to the same radio station. I know it's peculiar that we'd all listen to the same radio station, but actually we do. That radio station is W11 FM. I know you didn't know you listened to it, but trust me, you do. And much more importantly, your clients do and your potential clients do. So W11 FM, what's in it for me? I know it's totally cheesy, but the reason I bring it up and I bring it back to basics is because we forget that a lot of the time as entrepreneurs. When we're trying to pivot, or we're trying to sell, or we're trying to be resourceful, we have something that we desperately need somebody else to listen to get involved in, and ultimately to buy. So we're presenting what we need to sell, what we want them to buy. In actual fact, the success in that relationship is if you start with what's in it for them. That's when you'll understand the ability to be able to convince somebody based on their own needs. A lot of the time, particularly in this forest that we're in right now, we literally can't see the wood. So I'd encourage you to remember W11 FM, the thing that we all listen to. And last, but I don't think least, is it is essential to have a plan. Without a plan, you are going to fail. So I would encourage you all to make sure that you have a detailed plan as to how you're going to get through and get out and grow through this. So that's essential. Plan is essential. But a dream is imperative. If you don't have a dream, you are not going to attract the type of people, whether they be investors or team members around you. People don't come because you have a great plan. People come because you have a great dream. So if you haven't taken time to articulate it in that way, i.e. in the way of a dream, that you can take 90 seconds to articulate to somebody, and they can get what your dream is, I would very much encourage you to do that. And I wish you all the best. I hope you enjoy the experience of the entrepreneur that Cork BIC have presented once again, effortlessly after 10 years. And hopefully we'll all get to meet soon. Thank you.